Hi, and welcome to the Walkabout Talk About show with NCSL. I'm your host, Kaligan Tanda. And in this episode, we take a look at the experience of members of NCSL or their experience from that perspective. Over the last couple of episodes, we've been talking with many of the key personnel within NCSL. And for a change today, we switch the lens over to our actual members or people who facilitate the experience for members of NCSL. And again, NCSL is member driven, in other words. And with that being said, it's you, the members, that make NCSL a success with its products and services, and they try to give back to you as well to ensure that you have a safe future, in other words, and have something to cushion the blow whenever hard times hit the pocket. Now, my current guest, who I'd like to welcome onto the program, has been with one key company in engineering. Now, this particular company, Snowy Mountain Engineering Corp., started its humble beginnings in Papua New Guinea back in 1976, and since has been involved in many major projects, one of which, of course, the Highlands Highway. And since that time till now, they've now ventured into energy for that matter. But I'd like to now welcome to the program none other than the manager for People, Culture, and the Pacific for SMEC, Mr. Andrew Topo. Andrew, thank you very much for your time and welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mr. Tanda. It's a great privilege and honor to be here with you. And thank you, members and audience throughout the country.
Now, when we talk about SMAC, Snowy Mountain Exploration Corporation itself, a proud history in Papua New Guinea. For yourself, when did you first start with SMAC?
Thank you. I started with Snowy Mountain Engineering Corporation. It's a Subana Jurong group of companies in December 2024. So going in as a manager for People and Culture, looking after the Pacific and taking care of the employees' welfare and ensuring that the operations is aligned with our group to ensure that we achieve our year-end results for the group.
Now, for yourself, as you mentioned, you started with SMEC in 2024. But prior to that, I just wanted to ask you, when did you first find out about NCSL, or when did you first hear about NCSL, the name itself?
Thank you. I did my first year, if I can recall correctly, I did my first year at the University of Papua New Guinea in 2003, and I think it was in October 2003. Ian Tarutia, the CEO then with NASFund and its board and the executive management, they came up with this product. A sister company, more like a sister company called NASFund Contributed Savings and Loan Society, because NASFund was basically for retirement savings, long-term plan. So there was a need for short to medium-term financial needs for the members. So who at that time didn't get the opportunity, they went to commercial bank financial institution which charges high interest rate, and it made them really struggle in the day-to-day life. So that's why they came up with this, and that's why I came to know NCSL. So NCSL is basically for short to medium-term financial needs for the members, and I think now they have extended to non-members as well.
It's a bit of a tough challenge from a HR perspective, because if you look at your history, I mean, with any other workplace itself, financial literacy is something that's not actually taught in our curriculum in schools or whatnot. It's something you pick up along the way, and it's surprising that you yourself saw the importance of that prior to entering the workforce and finding more about, finding the need or the importance of having a savings culture.
You are exactly right. And I can say that the education system needs to be reviewed holistically. Financial literacy, savings culture should be a compulsory subject taught in schools. And that's from experience. I've been driving this for many, many years. And I think we need to start teaching our kids save before spend.
Well, I reckon that's amazing in itself when you consider that. Some people like to say that you can use NCSL, the savings account, as the term they say, the loose thinking account. You put a standing order or whichever it is, or what arrangement you have with your accounts people or your HR people, and then you put money into it, whether it's a 50 kina a month or a 50 kina fortnight or 100 kina fortnight or even something more. They say, put them in a loose thinking account and forget about it. Check after a couple of months or even check after a couple of years and see how much that's grown. And I've heard certain stories from members who actually come and talked about the fact that they were surprised that they managed to save this much plus the interest that gets paid by NCSL itself. It's a recipe for success that you can't replicate anywhere else in Papua New Guinea. I'll tell you that much. Now, for yourself, when it comes to some stories and stuff, you shared your stories, but have you heard of other stories from amongst people that you worked with in your capacity in the HR space itself that have actually come and talked about some of the great stuff that they've shared with you from some of the products and services that they've taken from NCSL?
Yes, I have, I think, quite a number of them, but I'll say one or two. I've worked in most of the manufacturing industries, and these are low-wage earners. They are on national minimum wage. So when you talk about national minimum wage, during that time it was 350, 3 kina 50 then. Now it went up to 5 kina. So it's a real challenge. How can you expect somebody to come and work 10 days and then get paid and then use that money with minimum wage to sustain themselves, fill the pay bills, take care of their families, pay rentals, electricity, water? It's a real challenge. So because human beings are the greatest asset that any employer has at any one time. And it depends on the employer how you cultivate the culture, how you cultivate the leadership, and how you bring the best out of your employees. So to me, I always reach out to NCSL to ask them to set a self-service desk. It's more or less like a telephone booth where during their lunch break, tea break, in the afternoon tea break around 2:30, they can come to that NCSL booth and start checking their savings, apply for loans, and check their balances. So in that way, it gives them the benefit of thinking that they have a savings, they have something that they can fall back on.
I'd also like to point out one more thing. It's also the USSD service that's also there as well. So in the event that if you do go offline, if there's no particular internet signal where you might be, the USSD service available for you there to check your balance, your status, your loan updates. All you have to do is on your mobile phone, using your mobile phone, on any of the networks that are currently in your area as well, just dial *628# for those services as well, for USSD services. And again, Andrew, when you said NCSL leads and others follow, I think we'll have to convince our CEO, Franz Kut, that could be the new slogan for NCSL. And now, coming back to our topic, coming back to basically our discussion so far, with a good guest all the way from SMEC, or Pacific SMEC in this case, Mr. Andrew Tobo. We've discussed some of the great things that have come with NCSL, what he's experienced from his perspective as someone who's come in and joined as a member, and then encouraging others and showing them the road towards, in other words, towards better financial management of your finances for the matter. Now, Andrew, to any of our viewers out there who may be current members or who might be thinking of joining NCSL, what would you say to them on where they should be placing their money or how they should be thinking about the future?
Mm-hmm. Thank you. That's a very important question. I think Papua New Guinea, as I've said earlier, Papua New Guinea, we are coming from a Melanesian society where there is always borrowing because it is in our system. So we are in a contemporary world where the Western influence, the Melanesian culture do clash at times. And that's where most of us working class Papua New Guineans, we have challenges. So my advice to all of us and to all the HR practitioners and to those good CEOs and the GMs of organization, please, your employees are your valuable asset that you have at your disposal. All the other things, they can be changed, but human beings are complex, and human beings, they have the brain to do what you have in your organization. So please reach out to NCSL. If you are not a member to NCSL, reach out to NCSL, how you can partner so that your employees can start having the short to medium term plans through these savings with the different savings platform with the NCSL. And for those employees that have been saving, the HR practitioners need to ensure that the payroll team do the deduction and submit the remittance on time, and timely payment will help them to earn monthly interest. So this would help them because at the end of the day, all employees, all of us, including myself, we will retire one day. The seat that we all are occupying, we will retire one day. It's not a bed right. So a retirement plan, and the retirement plan for short to medium-term financial needs is NCSL, your one-stop shop, because NCSL will meet your needs, but at the same time, it pays you good interest rate on all your savings where you can't get it in any commercial bank or financial institution here in Papua New Guinea as far as I'm aware. And having said this, I would like to encourage every Papua New Guinean that I got my BSP first home ownership scheme in 2018 when I worked with Truka Industry in Ley, and BSP gave me 40 years to repay the first home ownership scheme loan. But I managed to, with help of God, I managed to pay that loan within 6 years. And I must say that NCSL has helped me. I repaid to certain amount, and then when I saw my NCSL savings, it kind of matched with the amount that I had with BSP. So, because as a rural boy, I wanted to own a property. That was my dream when I graduated from UPNG in 2007. So, that dream came into reality in November 2024 when NCSL approved my savings in general savings, and then I paid to BSP, paid off my first home ownership scheme loan, and then I took the original title from Waigani Tunnel. I can still remember, went to the branch manager and got the title. So I'm not sitting here just trying to say that savings culture is important, but I've experienced it firsthand. And I know anyone out there, working class Papua New Guineans, you can experience the same. So we are not talking about education and school fee and Christmas savings, but you can literally save and you can buy property, or you can buy a land with a clear title and you can develop it as well. So that's why I said NCSL is more than that.
And there you have it. From humble beginnings, a son of two subsistence farmers, built himself up and saw the importance of stressing on the savings culture itself. Mr. Andrew Topa, our special guest this morning. And for kids who may be watching this right now, well, you better start egging your mom and dad, your parents, and tell them that you need to open up a kid savings account for me. The earlier you start saving, the better. And exactly what Andrew's actually stated in his journey with NCSL. Andrew, I'd like to thank you so much for your time on the Walkabout Talk About podcast, and thank you so much for sharing that personal story as well. And I think it's going to be an inspiration to many other young Papua New Guineans who are now starting life in the workforce and who might be thinking of saving. I think your story is a testament of itself on what it means to actually save and to have goals and to maintain a certain focus and maintaining discipline in savings. And with that, that's been the Walkabout Talk About show. And again, as a good guest, Mr. Andrew Topa has said, NCSL leads and others follow, and that could be the new catchphrase these days. I'm not pushing any narrative here, I'm just saying. It seems to be catching on in terms of what my guest has been speaking about. But again, big thank you to Andrew Topa, manager for People, Culture and Pacific SMEC, for joining us and giving his testimony as well. Now, with that being said, if you have any questions you'd like to ask regarding our products and services with NCSL, please don't hesitate to drop a comment at the bottom of the video in our comment section, whether it be on YouTube or on Facebook. And even please find out more about us on our website, www.ncsl.com. And apart from that, please, if you have any queries, give us a call. Give us a call on our call center numbers 207-2000. That's 207-2000. And we'll be happy to take your query or your calls and feature your question in our next episode, as we'll be advising from time to time coming up in the near future, most probably next month, for that matter. With that being said, that's been the Walkabout Talk About show for this month. I'm Callaghan Tanda saying have a top, safe, pleasant day ahead of you. And again, please join us with this journey in savings or with NCSL on the Walkabout Talk About show, only with NCSL.